Founded upon faith and prayer, International Commission has always been a ministry built upon Great Commission partnerships. Over 40 years ago, Ben Meath and Abel Gomez, one from the United States and the other from Mexico, partnered together to change two churches, one sending, one receiving. The concept not only worked, it flourished, showing itself to be internationally reproducible. Today, International Commission has worked in over 163 countries, being instrumental in 12.5 million recorded professions of faith. With reports still coming in, already 1.5 million men and women have professed their faith in Jesus through an International Commission evangelism project in 2013 and 2014. In each country, God has used partnerships built between International Commission, local churches and leaders, and U.S. churches and leaders to fulfill the promise, "And you shall be my witnesses." There is no secret to the success of International Commission projects, but there is one great biblical principle at work. The Great Commission finds its strength in God-empowered partnerships. From the banks of the Galilean Sea to Jerusalem's Temple Square at Pentecost, from the banks of the Amazon River of South America to the Ganges River in India, in small villages in Africa and cities of millions in Asia, God chooses to partner with people like you and me, who in turn partner with other believers around the world to carry the gospel to the ends of the earth. International Commission partnership projects take on the flair and flavor of every country and culture they enter. But from the beginning, every project has maintained the threefold strategy modeled in the book of Acts: prayer preparation, intentional evangelism, and follow-up by the local church. International Commission's missionary staff begins intensely working with sponsoring churches approximately 1 year before a scheduled project. A 2-day preparation retreat is held for pastors and key members of the congregations, where each part of the project is discussed and the prayer strategy is implemented. Each member of the participating church is instructed in how to pray for their lost friends, neighbors, and loved ones in the community using Operation Andrew prayer cards. Every member is to pray for at least 10 unsaved people. Prayer teams are set up nationally and internationally to pray for every project. Prayer preparation is the key strategy of International Commission. The retreat also introduces the tested evangelism tools used on most International Commission projects. Participants still find that sharing their personal testimony through bilingual testimony sheets is an effective way to introduce the gospel. Of course, other means such as simple tracts, the EvangeCube, and even audio recordings of the gospel are used with success. International Commission projects are intentional and unapologetic in sharing the gospel. This is our purpose, our commission, and our plan. When the week of the project arrives, volunteer missionaries from across the globe gather with local churches to visit and present the gospel to those for whom so many have prayed. God has always worked in response to the prayers of His people, and International Commission has been blessed to see scenes akin to Pentecost, with thousands of people coming to a saving faith in this one simple week of sharing the gospel. One family in this house, the children of another home, the shopkeeper next to the church, the chief of the tribe, the mayor of the city. When the names and addresses are recorded, project participants are always amazed to realize that God has partnered with them in such a powerful and overwhelming way. Because every witnessing team consists of participants who have been trained and local church members who are acting as translators, guides, and fellow participants, the witness is also witness training. Long after the week of the project, local members are empowered to share their faith in their village and town. In national to national projects, international believers trained through a project in their town volunteer to go to other towns in their country, or even internationally, to share the gospel in the same way it was modeled for them. International Commission is seeing a great outpouring of missionary zeal, spirit-empowered witness, and an unimaginable harvest take place through these national to national projects. International Commission works at the invitation of local churches and in partnership with local churches around the globe. Some of these churches are large with thousands of members, but most are small, some very small. Some meet in well-established buildings, but many meet in a home, in a hut, or simply under the big tree in the field. This is God's plan for evangelism and discipleship, for every person praying to receive and trusting in Jesus is already connected to that local church. It is the local church that initiated the project. Most of those coming to Christ already have their name on someone's Operation Andrew card. Therefore, each new believer has the best possibility of being nurtured within the church that is already praying for them and sees their salvation as a miracle in answer to prayer. Through the projects of International Commission, thousands come to Jesus for life and salvation. But every one of them comes as an individual tied to a local church that is ready to love and care for this new child of God. Great Commission partnerships bring together International Commission missionaries with international partners and with partners in the United States. Some partners go, some send, some plant. All are part of the harvest. All are part of a Great Commission, and a partnership began when Jesus said, "Come, follow me." To maximize the opportunities God has given us to fulfill the Great Commission, carrying the gospel to all the nations, International Commission invites you to embrace, expand, and enhance every level of its partnership ministry. God's plan for reaching the world.